What is up everyone? Today on this video I'll be showing you how to replace a Gamecube's housing shell, and this is going to be a complete overhaul, complete makeover of this Gamecube that I have here, which is in fair condition. This bit here is sort of yellowed out a bit. So we're going to replace this with this aftermarket shell over here, which I got from Aliexpress for around £30. And this is kind of unbranded. It's just called Crystal Limited Edition. And it comes with all the parts that you need to replace this. And it comes with the tools as well, which is very handy. I went for the transparent purple colour. Here's the top shell. And all the other bits as well. It even comes with a serial sticker at the back. All the bits and bobs, springs and some screws. A screwdriver set. Here's the base. And this thing, I'm not too sure what that is. Bit of plastic. But they do all sorts of other colours as well. They do transparent lime green, which I was thinking about getting. Hopefully this turns out well. This is actually my first time doing a Gamecube replacement shell. So let's go ahead and get to it. The first thing that we need to do is we need to dismantle this Gamecube here. Turn it upside down. And there should be 4 Gamebit screws underneath here. So use your 4.5mm Gamebit screwdriver. Let's go ahead and remove these screws. Alright, so you can now remove the top shell. Oh, I still have a game in there. Sonic 2. And it is a bit dusty in here. Now to remove the controller port, there should be some clips on either side, and you just have to gently just pull these apart, and this should flip up. But be careful because there's the ribbon cable that's connected to the motherboard here, which I'm not too sure if I should remove. So because I want to change this front controller port, I do need to remove 2 Phillips screws here. There we go. The controller port is still connected. We've just removed the front facing plastic. So I actually have a different colour replacement controller port here. And this is all thanks to my friend who gifted me this, which also came with some transparent buttons as well. And these you can't actually buy separately. I have looked online. I didn't really like the whole look of a purple transparent Gamecube console. I wanted something, you know, different with the controller port. I was going to originally use this, but this is a bit yellowed out. So this is actually perfect for what I want it for. So if he's watching, I want to thank you for gifting me this. Right, the next stage is we need to remove the cooling fan on the side here. There are 2 big Phillips screws here that we need to remove. There you go, the wire is still connected, so I guess you just leave that to the side. That fan could do with a little bit of dusting off. Next step is to remove these 4 small screws that are just behind the controller port. Again, they're just Phillips screws, so just these hold the springs in place. Now we need to take out the optical drive, so there should be 12 screws around the side here, and they are the big crosshead screws. So I need to remember where all these screws are, because they are, some of them are different sizes. or 3 hidden at the back here. Can I just, oh, I can just slide this back off. That's quite easy. So now we should be able to just remove the optical drive. It should just pop out. There we go. Doesn't look too bad. Not as dusty as I thought it would be. Right, now I'm just going to dust off the optical drive here. Now I need to remove this heatsink or motherboard. I think there's 6 screws around here. So I should be able to lift this up now. I can actually remove this controller port ribbon cable here. Now that is easier to access. I just have to pull the tab up and that removes the controller port. There we go, that is here's the motherboard. The heatsink should be able to come out because there should be thermal pads underneath here. Right, so you can give it a good old wipe down, clean off any dust and that, but this is actually not too bad. There isn't that much dust on the heatsink or anything. I'm actually surprised considering the outer shell looked quite dirty, a bit grubby, and the actual inside of it is not too bad. Next we just need to take off the bottom plate shield, and there's only 2 screws down here. Hopefully there's nothing living under this console. No creepy crawlies, no ants, and oh, pretty clean. We can remove the fan, the power adapter and fan, so that's just connected here. Looks like I can just pull on this tab and out comes the power supply fan, and give this a little wipe down, brush off any dirt or anything like that. It looks like the rest of this, look here, nothing's really screwed down. Actually this power supply is actually screwed down. I can get the base of my new shell and start putting some of this into the new shell, so let's go ahead and do that. I think this is the right way. This looks different. Well, it just looks different because there's nothing in this one. So this goes here. It's like a jigsaw puzzle right now. Remember to put these back into place because these are where the screws go in, I believe. These little hooks. Right, this power board here, this is screwed down with 4 little screws. And these screws are quite tough to get out. I don't know if this screwdriver is strong enough. The problem with these screws is if you keep trying and you keep missing, you might ruin the thread of these because they're so tiny. So make sure you've got a good grip and then start twisting. I feel like this screw here is kind of damaged already. Right, and this should just pop out. This whole thing comes out together. That's the power board I'm gathering. Just doesn't seem too dusty. This can go straight into the new bottom half of the case. Let's see now. Oh, we've got one more clip actually. One more clip here. This one will go into this slot. That looks good. Just going to give it a quick dust off. And I'm just going to put the screws straight back in so I'm on the right track, because I've got so many screws here I've forgotten where they go already. Because this is a new case, you might find it difficult to screw everything back in, because this screw here is being awkward. I can feel like it's threading itself, and it's also destroying the screw while I do it, which is not good. You don't really get a good grip with this screwdriver here. Right, so I had to swap screwdriver set because this one, you're not really getting a good grip with this, and it's completely destroying the heads of the screw, so be aware of that. Make sure you have a backup screwdriver set, because yeah, this is destroying the heads of this, and I don't want to strip the screws and then that screw is already ruined trying to screw that into place. But luckily this screwdriver is a lot better. Having troubles trying to get this aligned. One of the screws is just not going in fully, kind of annoying. Completely gone anyway, the head of one of the screws is completely gone. This always happens. So this power thing, probably the worst thing. All the screws don't fit in. One of the screws is now trapped underneath. Oh, there it is. Right, so I'm not going to fully screw these in because I've already broken some of these screws. They are rubbish. It's probably the best I can do. I don't want to screw in. There is one that the head is completely gone from it, which is this one here. So I don't really want to try and screw that in anymore, because once that head is gone, and this is not going to come out unless you break the head of that screw, and then you can remove it. But so annoying. If they actually made stronger screws, then this wouldn't be an issue, but the more times you try and screw this in, the likelihood of you breaking the head is, you're probably just going to break the head. Crap, how did this go into place? Right, now that's in, we need to put the power back in. So if I can remember, this went like this. I think I got it in the right way. Make sure your clips are in before you put the shield back on. Very important, because if you don't, then you're not going to be able to screw anything. Now to remember which side this went, like this, I think. Okay, so at least that doesn't matter that this power board is loose, because these screws are completely gone. I don't want to mess around with them anymore. So I think this is the right way. Right, so now your shield's back on, just put the two screws back into place. Next, grab the motherboard and heatsink. Make sure this goes in the correct way. So this power bit goes, just line it up where the motherboard connects to the power supply, and you should be good. There we go. Let's put all the screws back in. I need to remember which screws they were. They were the tiny ones, which are the ones with the, they got like washers. You've got like little metal washers on the screws. There's always one screw that doesn't want to go in properly. Next I'm going to put the new front facing controller port onto here. Just screw it on there, it's quite easy. Can't remember which screws though. I think it was these ones. Nice and sleek. Connect this back together. Pretty simple. You just slot the ribbon cable, and that should just slide in. So now I need to switch over these memory card doors to the transparent ones. All you have to do is unclip these. Pretty simple. Just make sure you don't break them. Oops, I've lost the spring on that one. these little springs just transfer over onto the new flaps here. Right, so our memory card flaps are actually in place, and make sure you test these that the springs do open and close, so they're fine. Right, I've just unclipped this controller port just because I forgot that I need to put the optical drive into place, and these screws will be in the way at the front port, so I need to make sure this goes in the correct way, just like so. Now all 12 screws need to be put back together. Once all your 12 screws are back into place, I'm going to screw the fan. There's 2 screws at the end here. That's why it's important to have the clips in place, because if you miss out the clips, then these won't be able to screw in. We're almost there. Let's go ahead and put these little controller flappy bits back into place. Alright, these bits are now back into place. I could have done a better job of screwing this one in actually, but it doesn't matter, it's okay. I think the problem with this is because this is a fresh third-party case, a lot of the threads are like non-existent, so it's really hard to try and screw these back in. So as you can see here, where the threads are, you can see the white bits. So when I screw these in, it's creating a thread here, so there's no pre-existing threads, which is why it's so difficult to screw these back in. You have a high chance of breaking some of these screw heads, so just be aware of that. Right, I should be able to install the controller port. So I think this is actually done now, that the base and all the components are, you know, all assembly together. The next thing I need to do is transfer everything that's in here onto the new top part of the Gamecube case. So let's move this out the way. I need to put the spring on the lid and screw these handles. We don't need this. Place the back plate, which is pretty simple. You just have to slide this at the back and this clips on. Just line it up. It's for the LED light. Let's put that there. There's some screws here which I'm going to take out and replace with. I just replaced the screwdriver because this one isn't very good and it's hurting my hand because it's so flimsy. Plus it's really hard to screw everything back onto the new plate. So it just makes it a lot easier with a stronger crosshead screw. Let's take out, there's this little thing here. I've got a replacement here, so I guess I'll just use this. Just transfer the screw. Keep the screw. What does this do? Oh, it's for the power button. Or it's the catch maybe for the lid, I think. So I'm pretty sure this is the right way that it goes in. So that's where it catches. There's a little latch that I need to transfer as well. Okay, next we have, alright, let's put this handle in because this is relatively easy. So going that way, I think it goes in this way. Just line it up. Although I could have a black handle, is that going to look weird? I'm not too sure. Let's keep it as the purple. Let's remove this latch, I suppose. Swap this one out first. Oops. Oh no, the spring came out. I think it went like this. We've got a plastic part for this, so we do need to take this out, the spring out anyway. guessing that goes in here. Kind of hard to remember how everything went back into place. It's upside down. Right, let me figure out this in a second, but I'm going to put the button in. So the shorter button is the open. Very awkward. There we go. We also have a single white button. The reset button will go over here. There we go. Just trying to figure out this this part here. I'm not too sure how the spring, like which way the spring is supposed to go. It's probably the hardest bit. So I figured this part anyway. So this spring here, which is the latch that holds the top part of the disc tray in place. This spring will go in this bit here. It's quite fiddly. That will go in like that. And then the coil bit, or this bit here, placed there. So that is how far I got. So let's do that again. Thread this through. And all this does is this spring should just touch the side, and then this will be able to move like that. Right, so let's do that again. Let's thread this spring through here, and this part of the spring needs to be touching the side case, so it causes tension when this goes like that. Just place it like that. It should be as easy as this. Now there's tension, and this can do that. It's quite hard to see, but it should look something like this. I think I'm doing it right. Let's put the screws back in. Screws are in. This is the easy part. There's this like little mesh thing for the fan. It's pretty easy. Slide the this little mesh on the side. The last part is the latch here, or the hinge. This is going to be the hardest bit, I can imagine. Just going to visualize it and see how this works. This keeps this open and closed. There's only one screw holding it into place. Crap. There's the hinge part. We need this gear here. This part, which I don't seem to have a purple replacement. Right, the gear is in place, as you can see here. So let me move this, because this keeps moving around. Doesn't seem to sit in very well compared to the original case, but it's in there, so that's all that matters. We need the front part. So this part here, this is the top shell. I need to take out the Nintendo GameCube logo, because they don't actually supply you with one, which is pretty simple. There's just two latches here, I think. That pops out. It's actually easier than I thought. I thought this was stuck down. I might modify this actually. I might put some iridescent tape over this to make it look shiny. So I'm going to come back to this. Right, let's put the top part in. The top flap goes in like this. I think it doesn't seem to fit very well. What's going on here? Maybe I should unscrew this first. Right. I'm going to latch this bit onto the top part, so hopefully it just sits in. I don't know if I'm screwing myself over with this though, because maybe I should just leave this for now and do the latch first, or the hinge. Should probably just install the hinge before I put that little part back in. Let's figuring out how this goes now. This is the most awkward part of the process. I think I should leave this slightly open. Right, so now it's just figuring out how to put this spring back in. Can't remember which way this goes. So the right placement for the spring, so if you have it this way, this goes like this, and the hook should sit well there. I'm guessing the tension is like here. Now is the case of trying to align it. It's good to have like some leeway here, although it's very difficult to actually do it with sweaty, slippery hands. Right, this is super duper fiddly, but I'm trying to put this back together. I've just realised that this came with its own little hinge plastic bit, and I couldn't figure out which way this went, but you see where it grooves over, there's like a mould, that's where the gear sits in place. So without the spring, putting this over like that, just to see how this goes back into place. That should go like that. There should be a spring in between there. Very hard to see, but right, let's try this again. So make sure the short bit of the spring is touching this little latch, this little bit here. Leave the door open a little bit. I'm not too sure if I'm supposed to feed the spring through there. It's very hard to see what you're doing. I'm just examining the top part of the case. I think the spring goes here. It's like a little guided slot. But it seems awkward to slide the spring through the gears. Can I remove this part first, maybe? This part literally takes the longest part to do. They really didn't make this easy. Very awkward. What does the spring go in here? There's like a little, looks like a ramp. I think maybe the spring goes there. It's hard to tell. No, that's where the gear goes. It's really hard to see though. My hands are in the way. Right, I've taken the black thing out because it's in the way, but this feels like there's tension here. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, I think I just I think the spring slots in there. It's like a perfect slot for where the spring goes. That feels like there's tension there, so let's hold this into place, because if I let go of the spring, it might move out of place. Let's put the gear in. Don't know if you can see, I need to keep it flat though. Just have a look here. So there's definitely tension when I do that, and it feels like it's supposed to go this way. So maybe if you find it difficult, take out the gear and then put the spring, feed the spring through. I should be using like tweezers to make it easier for myself, but at the moment I don't have enough free hands. Maybe I can just rest that there a second, get some pliers. Right, now that I've got the gear back into place, as you can see, the spring is still there, I think. I just have to close this now and line it up where the screws are. So as you can see there, now it's time to screw these back in. Oh yeah, I forgot there's only one screw for this. It seems like it's in place though. There we go. I need to put this side back in as well. So just hook this part on the other side of the hinge. Might be easier with a pair of pliers. I think that's in. Get your screw. There we go. So it does actually make it easier to look at this hinge mechanism with the transparent case. But as you can see here, that's what it should look like on the spring side. Oops, and then the other side. Like that. If you do have any difficulties with the spring, just remember the other end of the spring goes. So as long as you know where that goes, you shouldn't have an issue feeding it through, and it's a lot easier to put the spring in, like take off the black gear, align the spring with the top part, then feed the spring through, make sure the case is open. You can see where the spring sits into place. As long as you line that up first, you shouldn't have an issue. See a missing screw there, so maybe one of them goes on the base again. On the base we got some of the expansion ports. I do have the covers for these. Here's the serial port cover. And then one more cover here, which is just another serial port. I'm sure I have the cover somewhere, don't know where I've put it. Oh, it's here. There we go. I've got 4 long screws that I need to be put back into place. I do still have one more screw, which I am baffled to where that actually went. Maybe I missed something. I thought I screwed everything back together, but clearly not. One more screw left. Missing the mesh, because I took the mesh out again just because it got in the way of the hinge. Little comparison here just to double check. Looks like everything's in place. I've not missed anything out. I don't know what these are for. So this came with the replacement case. No idea. 2 bits of plastic. If anyone knows what I should do with these, then please let me know. Right, moment of truth. Let's put the top part in. Oh, this comes off again. This is really hard to stay on. Like, it doesn't really stay on at all. Okay. The joys of aligning it back into place. I'm sure things won't be perfect. Okay, that is in. Looks pretty flush to me, but that is in. Okay, with your Gamebit screwdriver, screw these back in. Okay, just figured what these are. These are the feet. These parts are the feet of the console, which I completely missed out on. They actually go here. Bummer. So if I need to put the feet in, I have to take out this whole thing again. Very annoying. Can't just slot these feet. I managed to get one of the feet into place, so I didn't have to open this. I just have to slot this in. And see where it sticks out a bit. I just use my screwdriver just to tap it into place. Just be careful not to scratch your new shell when you do this. It should just go in like so. Doesn't need too much force. There we go. Our feet are in. So thank God I didn't have to like open this up again. So almost there. I need to remove this bit of plastic here. This is to cover the logo. So that should just slot in like this. Now here's our Nintendo Gamecube logo, which is quite scratched up. So I have this holographic see-through tape here. This is like shattered glass effect, and I actually got this to put on the Game Boy that I did a long time ago, and I have some of these left over, so I'm going to try and put this over the Nintendo GameCube logo and see how that goes, because I need to use some of this up. I've still got like 4 other sheets which I could stick this inside of this shell to make this nice and holographic and shiny. But, you know, maybe I can do that another time, because I've already spent quite some time to replace this shell here. So how am I going to do this? Let's see. I can cut around it. It's not going to be a perfect circle because there's this little lip here. Okay, I've ripped some of the holographic tape just there. Maybe I can do this again. It's not the best. Maybe I shouldn't have ripped it. And the best thing I can do, I suppose, is if I just apply it over it and then cut around the edges. Apply it first and then cut around. The only problem is you only have one chance to apply it, because if you mess it up you're going to leave some marks. Make sure there's no dust on top of the logo. Remove any bubbles that you see. I think that looks pretty good. Might get a little bit of overhang, but that doesn't matter too much. There we go. Holographic Gamecube logo. Right, we can put our Gamecube logo in, like so. Wow, shiny, nice and shiny. I guess we don't need this cover. I had to open it up again because as soon as I closed the lid, this wasn't opening. If I press eject, it wouldn't open. So, word of advice, make sure this screw here, that one there, it's not too tight, because for some reason when I put this back in, I guess it was too tight, so it's just getting stuck like that, not opening. As soon as you take it out of the lid, it opens. Kind of stupid. Maybe it's still too tight. Right, so I've put it back together once again, and now this time this opens just fine. So there's like a sweet spot for the screw. If I make it too loose, then this won't clamp down. If I screw it too much, then this will just get stuck. So just be careful before you put everything back together. Just double check on that little catch bit there, because that will catch you out. Let's put the logo back on. Could probably clean these edges up a bit, but it's okay. From a distance it doesn't look too bad. Very shiny. Now I did notice that I am missing a couple of stickers here, so I've only got this back sticker, which I've also put some holographic tape on. The ones that are missing, let's refer back to the original base, is this graphics by ATI sticker. So I'm missing this one. I mean, I suppose I can just use a hairdryer, just peel that off. I don't really want to. And the serial number, I don't have this. I don't seem to have a spare one. They didn't supply a serial sticker, which is a bit of a bummer, really. I guess this is the Japanese way of doing it, and they stick it here. I am not too sure. So I have this generic serial code, and the original base doesn't have that sticker there. It just has this small one, so maybe all I need is this. But it's a shame they didn't include a sticker for the front part there. That was not the end of the world, so let's just go ahead and stick. Let's just go ahead and stick this serial sticker on, just to peel off, like so. Nice and shiny at the bottom there. No one's ever going to see that. I think I'm done now. I do have this extra cover, but I guess that's if you don't have the Nintendo GameCube cylinder thing. This just goes on top. But we don't need this anymore. I still got that extra screw here. Use it as a spare, I guess. This is the end result. I much prefer this clear controller port rather than having all of it in purple. It just makes it look more pleasant. And also my original controller port, this was all kind of yellowed out a bit. If I tilt it forward, you can see the shininess, a couple of bubbles there which I need to get rid of. Just makes it look more shiny, I guess. We also have the power button, which is white instead of purple. Maybe I could have changed these two as the original white, but maybe that's it might look a bit off, so don't have a game in there. So there we go, that is how you do a Gamecube shell swap, and this actually took me a little bit longer than it should, just because this was my first time doing this, but I had fun. This is a little bit more complicated than the Dreamcast one. Got the custom Dreamcast shells, and the next thing that I need to do is install the Pico boot, which I've never done before, so I need to solder some contacts on the Pico boot board, so that's going to be fun. So I'm going to have to open this up again at some point. If you're interested in picking up one of these Gamecube translucent shells, then I'll leave a link on the description below where to get one of these. I got mine from Aliexpress, and they come in different colours, and I do recommend checking some of these out. I also got this shell, which is pretty much the same colour as the housing. This shouldn't be too hard, I don't think this will take as long. If this video has helped you, then please give it a like and also subscribe. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you again on another one.